Have you ever told your VA to do something and 2 weeks later you're still chasing the same task? What if I told you that's not a VA problem? That's a broken value chain problem. If you're stuck with 2 VAs constantly going back and forth on Slack, WhatsApp, Canva edits, and you keep thinking, forget it, I'll just do it myself, you're not alone. Most business owners I meet hit that exact wall. Cultural differences, unclear handoffs, and assumptions quietly break the chain, and you end up back in operator mode. In this video, I'll show you how to re-engineer your VA value chain so tasks move smoothly from idea to done, with less chasing, fewer errors, and more ownership from your team. Not more work for you. I just came back from Tony Robbins' Advanced Business Mastery, and I run a company that's almost entirely powered by virtual assistants. Every link in our chain has an owner. Stick with me because we're going to unpack the 7 hidden reasons your VA value chain keeps breaking, the 1 mindset shift that kills the I can't mentality in your VA, and the simple communication habit that lets you step away from the business while everything still gets done. The truth is, this is not because your virtual assistant is failing. It is because the value chain is broken. 2 chain and you are tying it to each other and it's very tight. I have more than 1 virtual assistant and the chain is always good. My chain is consistently good. I just need to figure out which part of the value chain is broken so that everything else is easy. And this is the reason why I can pull myself away from the business, because I know that every single chain, somebody's owning it. And if it's broken, our internal company right now, if you have more than 5, we'll be teaching you this. We have a ticketing system. So anytime somebody did something wrong, we actually will write them an incident report so that they will have to evaluate what went wrong. How did it go wrong? The 7 reasons why the virtual assistant value chain breakdown is 1, lack of clarity. Big instruction, ASAP fail the chain. Never assume that the virtual system will figure it out, especially if they are new. If you're using Gmail to do your email, right now ChatGPT actually have agent mode. They will be able to scrub your emails and start helping you write emails and send them into your draft box so that you or your virtual assistant can review them and just hit the send button. So it's a lot easier for them to figure out emails for you. The one thing that I teach on day 1 is never make assumption, especially on the very first couple of weeks. Always ask them, do you understand what I'm saying? Please do not make assumption. And you have to remind them until they really get it. Even though we tell them about it, we want you to do that too. Fail to verify, sent it, but never check if it landed. One thing I do need you to verify is verify that they absolutely have their Fathom on. If there's any situation, we can always pull the recording and pull the transcription to verify what else are we missing so that we can figure out which chain is broken and how can we fix that. Attitude and mindset, resistant ego, negativity in the chain. I cannot tell you enough that what Tony said, 80% is mindset. You want to really figure out, okay, virtual assistant, do you believe that you can get this done? Because if they say, man, boss, I don't think I could do it, but I will try, then chances this is not going to work out. And what I will suggest you to do is probably turn on your Zoom, get them on the Zoom, and then show them how you will get it done the very first time, get it recorded so that they can see that it's not as hard as they think it would be, so that you will remove the resistant ego and negativity. One big piece about virtual assistant is that if they are new and they have not worked with people like us before, they have a lot of I can't mentality and also I don't want to bother mentality. We really have to work really hard to let them know that, hey, you are a college degree holder, you're very smart, right? And everybody else have the same thing as you, which is ChatGPT. And right now we call it our best friend. Please go ask your best friend how to get it done because they know, okay? And again, delegate instead of leverage, dump the task, empower virtual assistant. So make sure that you empower your virtual assistant and just don't throw things at them. But whenever you talk to them, sometimes, especially if they're your EA, you will dump things to them, whereby it's like you're dumping it to them. Hey, I'm gonna just dump it to you. Come back to me in 2 weeks and ask me what this is about. So you want to always give them some clarity so that they actually know what you're really talking about. So I went back and looked through my chain and I realized one thing is that a lot of time I would dump things to her because it was just a note in my head, but I failed to let her know that. So she worked really hard to try to accomplish it for me, but then she couldn't go anywhere because she had no idea what I really meant by that. And last but not least, is too many hands-off at step instead of simplifying it. Again, if you have too many hands-off, just make sure that you turn on Zoom and work with them on the Zoom. One of the biggest challenge that we literally see is in social media, because when you're doing social media and the virtual assistant in social media, a lot of times they are a little bit shyer. So they prefer not to talk to you over the Zoom. However, what the trap is running into a lot of clients is they are doing a quote cards and they're going back and forth on every little tweak. Bigger font, smaller font, up a little bit, down a little bit, go to the left a little bit, go to the right a little bit. And because of that, it takes them one quote card, take them 33 edition going back and forth. And if you just hop on a call with them, 5 minutes, all these will be done because you can see it and you can tell them better the direction. Make sure that you use Zoom as the best tool that you have. And if you do not have a paid Zoom where you can do 8 hours nonstop, feel free to come into our breakout room. Right now, our Zoom allow us to have 100 breakout room. So we can literally send you to a special breakout room so that you can be with your virtual assistant the whole day if you want to without paying for it. And then the VAs can still bring their Fathom in, or you can do local recordings so that you're not losing anything. Okay, so please make sure that if you are having a hard time communicating with your virtual assistant, my strong suggestion is just be on the Zoom with them for 8 hours. That will be the easiest way that you can transition. This is usually the 7 reason the value chain can break down and frustrated with the virtual assistant. So we talk about how to re-engineer the VA value chain, how to cut down time, errors, frustration when delegating to a virtual assistant. What's a VA value chain? Every tap through a chain of handoff. Each handoff is a chance to lose time or create errors. If they are new with you, you should get them to give you an update every hour. So 8 hours means 8 times. Make sure when they are new with you, you haven't created momentum or system yet. Every hour to the dot, you need to ask them. I want to ask them because we actually create a system where 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, the virtual system will automatically let me know what I'm working on. Because sometimes you might not want them to work on something, but they thought that's what you want them to do. So it allows you to get a chance to correct it instead of wasting 5 or 6 hours and then you did not get the information. More step equals to more risk. So see how you can shorten the value chain for the whole thing. This is one example that we got from Tony. And then after that, working with ChatGPT is the CEO to VA to another VA to the manager to the CEO and to the customer. What that would do a lot of time is too many back and forth instruction. No confirmation, did they even get it? Or each end of is actually a danger point. This is actually very true. So for us, we use Notion. Every time we have to pass on the task, we get that onto Notion and we change the assignee name to the next person in charge. So we know that, okay, this task is going from this person to this person to this person. If not, we also will use Airtable. So anytime we are hiring, when we get into a virtual system, we'll keep updating the person who is in charge until the next person. So feel free to utilize Notion so you guys can have notes consistently. Right now we're testing out where you open up a thread and you just get everything done. And when it's done, then you close the thread. And then if it's a new topic, then you open another thread. So now it's very clean and clear on the communication. Again, 3 jobs that is at every link. Make sure that when you give things, you give them clearly. That's what I have been training the virtual on is make sure that you confirm them, make sure you clarify and verify, and make sure that you also say no if you don't know how to receive them. If you actually say, yes, boss, I'm going to get it and I'm going to get it done by Friday, then make sure that you consistently add value into whatever that your client is giving it to you and suggest improvement and delivers. Make sure that the VA really understand what you're talking about. And it's really okay for you to verify with them. If you're a woman and you're really bad with being direct, then you need to let them know. So again, in a disk profile, the better thing to do is when you have your team, make sure that you have 4 of them. So whenever you need it, you just bring them out from your tool belt and then figure out what you need to do. The 6 things that you supply and expect from your virtual assistant. In a value chain, you supply and expect more than just to get the task done. And here are 6 key things: information, request, emotion, needs, material, and decision/deadline. I find that I am not as patient when I give out a task. And then after that, the virtual assistant have no idea what I'm getting. And that's a task grow very, very slow. Now, in our organization, what we're doing is now I'm really forcing myself to have this habit and get my virtual assistant to also ask me, okay, did I tell you the information? Did I tell you the request? How do I sound? Do I sound pleasant? Is it an urgent matter or non-urgent matter? What do I really need from it? Do you have all the files, all the photos that you need, right? And when do we really need it by? And if you cannot get it done by then, you must let me know 2 days ahead of time. So we're consistently working on this so that it's from the top down. Every time there's a request, we must get all these done before we move on. One thing that's super cool is I currently have one on my, and I just keep filling in all the information. So now I've been testing it, so I can actually copy this thing and paste it and say, ChatGPT, I need to get this thing done. Fill in the rest as if you are me. So far, they have been getting 80% right. So get a account and make sure that you input a lot of your information. If you get your virtual assistant to use it, they will become your clone, speak as if they are you. If they're not, then don't let them use that profile because then it will dilute the answer. Moving forward, I literally went to UPW in Germany and he asked me, what business am I in? I literally just copy it, pop in ChatGPT, and he comes up with it. I was like, you know me more than I know myself. So again, make sure that you also install this 6 rules too. Is confirm the receipt. Did you get it or not? And I strongly suggest all of you that make sure you really have it in either a WhatsApp, a Notion, or email. Some of our clients ready to use email back and forth. You need to really make sure that they say, yes, I got it. Yes, I'm going to do it. Yes is actually also a very bad confirmation, okay? Because I realized that me and my team, when we say yes, it could mean that yes, I read it or yes, I accept it. So don't just use the word yes. Make sure you verify what does that yes really mean. There's quite a few times that we actually misunderstood each other because we just used the word yes and they thought that yes, I approve it, but I meant yes, I read it, okay? Again, deadlines is very strong. This is also one thing that EOS have taught us really well too, is it's one single chain owner. Right now, I have Renelin and I have Isa to become my EA, right? But if I'm assigning them to check my emails, I will get Renelin to check my emails as a single chain owner. If Isa is checking my emails, that's fine. But ultimately, I will go to Renelin to ensure that every single email is read and replied. If not, I will only hold Renelin accountable and I will not hold Isa accountable. I used to hold 2 people accountable. And when you hold more than 1 person accountable, that means you are holding nobody accountable. So please be aware of that. Try to get your first time right 95%. But I would say maybe 75, 80% at the very beginning to make sure that we really understand, okay, this is exactly what I want. If not, ask your best friend ChatGPT. And escalation letter, if they have something super urgent and I am not available to answer them, they will give me a WhatsApp missed call so that I know that it's important and I will immediately go back and see what do they need from me at the very beginning. Now I don't really do that as much anymore. And then the steps, I love to complicate it at the very beginning because that made me look really smart. I don't do that anymore. So make sure that you delete wasted step. And I've been looking at it. How can we remove more steps? If it's a new project, the best way to remove steps is to get on a Zoom call and do the project next to each other. And clarifying and verifying, make sure that every single chain you clarify and verify. And that's one thing that I always do with my virtual assistant now. Clarify and verify, it's almost a term that we use all the time. And do you really understand? Do they really understand what's a progress, what's an update, what's complete? Again, use Scorecard to make sure that you also log your numbers. And I really recognize that as a business owner, we are really bad at clarifying and verifying our numbers. Again, if you don't like it, that's completely fine. Get your VA to fill it out every week so that way you can review them, okay? And here, this is after the streamlined chain. We are 100% virtual assistant beside my husband and my cousin, Valerie. Everything is run by virtual assistant because I really want to prove the point that VA can run the whole company. And right now, this is really our chain. CEO to one of my virtual assistants and then to the customer, okay? And because of that, you really empowered that virtual assistant and make sure that that person is the only in charge one. Like this call, Isa is always on the call. If she's not on the call, she knows she have to ask someone to assist her because if she doesn't talk about it, then nobody's going to handle this call for us. And I really like the ownership of it. And to be honest with you, there's a couple of times I put my business at risk, okay, because I wanted to prove to the virtual assistant that if they do not do it, nobody else would. Okay, if they do not do it, nobody else would. So they actually really realized that sellers is really counting on me to do this one thing. And because of that, people just always over delivering and satisfied. and have 100% ownership for it. And you can just ask Isa, sometimes, even if she gets sick, she knows. She'll always have to find somebody to back her up, and she'll always have to train somebody to take over the job. It is not my job to know. It is not my job to worry about it. If you are running a webinar or Zoom call, you must have at least one virtual assistant with you at any given time, because figure out how to run Zoom and maintaining Zoom is way under your pay rate. I just caught one of my $50,000 clients doing that. And that is the reason why you're wasting your time. He cannot remember what's a password, and he was late to his presentation for 15 minutes. Make sure that you simplified it and make sure that it's as fast as possible. And one more thing, I will never be the first one to review the copies. If you only have you and your virtual assistant, then get your virtual assistant to copy it, get ChatGPT to verify before it's sent to you. For my copies, it always have to go through another person's hand before it comes to me, so that I don't waste my time. You can turn 6 steps into 3 steps, 12 steps into 6 steps. Working with ChatGPT, we can always PDF it, upload it, and say, how can I simplify them? Easy. And how can you re-engineer your flow? Map every handoff, who is touching what. This is what we're very strict on. And ask, does this add value, or is it just passing the ball? If it's just passing the ball, remove it. Cut the redundant passes. Give the virtual assistant direct ownership. I do believe that is one thing that I'm doing really well on. And verify and clarify that they received and understood it. If not, verify again. Document once, systemize it forever. You're using ChatGPT nowadays. What I strongly suggest is get the Google Doc going. Your SOP is live. Every time you talk about something new, allow your VA to have at least 15 minutes work with ChatGPT, and then come up with the SOP and then dump it into the document. And then after that, you can use a Notebook LM to ask any SOP questions that you have. What we have to keep it alive by taking vacation. So I know that thing is going to go really well. Been testing it to almost 9 months now that I'm doing barely minimal. The truth is SOP where they know how to answer those questions. So I don't really have to do much. I am a people person. I am a big I personality to the max. So I don't necessarily like to have deadlines, and I don't necessarily like to blame my virtual assistant. But then I realized that thing doesn't go really well. So I forced myself to make sure that I have more and more clarity. And now everybody have clarity, and it's a company that created the rules and no longer me creating the rules. Life has been so much easier. I was telling my team, I want to go to the next level. Is it okay if I don't work at all and you run the whole company and I'm still making the money? So that's the next challenge I'm putting in for myself. My suggestion right now, what we test out is we actually really love Google Document. You literally can have 5 people in the same doc, or 10. I haven't tested out what's a maximum, and everybody can be working on the same doc at the same time. It's very efficient. And literally, sometimes when we do Zoom, we don't even share screen because everybody can see the changes in real time with Google Doc. And it's free. It's one of the best ones that, even though I'm using so many different things, I still prefer to use Google Doc for any share information or documents. There's a couple core apps that I always use, and I always find that Google Doc and Google Spreadsheet is the most reliable for me anyway, and I store all my stuff in Google Drive. That's my main. TapStab is a software where we track virtual assistant when they are doing all their work. They will take screenshot of what they're doing every 10 minutes, and they also will be tracking the productivity. So that's the truth about why most VA relationships break down. It's rarely your VA. It's the value chain and the communication system sitting inside that chain. Your VA becomes more confident, your communication tightens, and the constant chasing finally stops. Because every handoff becomes intentional and every link becomes stronger. This is exactly how I run an entire company almost entirely with virtual assistants. Every link has an owner, every decision is documented, and nothing depends on me. If today's video helped you identify where your chain is breaking, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share this with another business owner who's stuck doing everything alone.